Guys, this is a scary one. There is a new scam circulating that is worth its weight in gold. Victims are being convinced they have to back up their bank accounts with the precious metal, and the scammers are tricking victims into going and buying gold bars and then picking the gold up at their front door.
And this is happening everywhere, as you'd imagine, across the country. 7 on your sides, Nina Pineda here with the warning.
Oh, Nina.
And this is an active law enforcement investigation. Yeah. They are looking for suspects in this grand larceny, and police are saying these relentless criminals hooked a Queens woman into sending them her life savings. What's scary, guys, is this started in cyberspace and then jumped to the sidewalk. Ooh. And by the time she realized it was a scam, they had cleaned her out. Have you heard about this scam?
I read it in the paper.
Store owner Aziz Amin says he only heard about the gold bar scam, making headlines across the country months after he sold 24-karat gold bars and coins to a Forest Hills wife and mother. How much did you end up sending these scammers?
$700,000.
$700,000
total.
Eva Rothman was warned to keep what she was doing a secret.
From the Federal Trade Commission Department.
She was convinced by this imposter, pretending to work for the government, that her bank accounts were hacked and that she was being watched.
Well, they were saying that I was under surveillance and that I could go to jail if I told anybody, and I can't even tell my own family that lives with me because they would be taken into custody.
They would be taken into custody? Over 2 months of emails, phone calls, and texts, Mrs. Rothman was manipulated. First into draining her checking account, instructed to place $20,000 cash in a shoebox, go outside to the street, and wait.
I brought the money down, the box down, a car pulled up.
You place it in the backseat?
Yeah.
But it would get much, much worse. The fake agent would then control her into cashing out a recent inheritance. Eva was then told to come here to Jackson Heights to a specific store and buy gold bars. She did this 3 times. In the space of 1 week, she would take a taxi, go up to the shop, purchase gold bars and gold coins.
I asked her, I said, what are you going to do with all this gold? She said, I want to give it to my daughter.
The first purchase, May 15th, was $123,000, then $249,000. 10-ounce 24-karat bars a day later went up to $305,000. The grand total with the shoebox, $20K in cash, $698,355.
They even asked me to take pictures of it and just bring it downstairs and put it in the car.
If it can happen to my family, it can happen to anybody.
Ava's nephew, Lyle Rothman, the rabbi of Community Synagogue in Port Washington, wanted to warn others that his aunt got wiped out.
$20,000 is a lot of money. $700,000 is unthinkable. There's not a cent left.
I would say, would you do this to your mother? I just can't understand why people do these things. They don't have a heart. They're not human. I mean, it's terrible.
And we do have an update. This also happened in Long Island because we understand now the Nassau County DA has made an arrest of an alleged gold bar courier. He is in jail. This was another case involving the exact same.
Can't they track those gold bars? There must be serial numbers on them, right?
There are serial numbers, but you know, you could just melt them down.
Yeah, that's true. Right?
This story in our content meeting, I mean, it created such a conversation. The first thought is, how do we protect ourselves? So it had to have been convincing. How did they get to her in the first place?
It's a good question, Danny. It started on the computer. She was just looking for train tickets, and then her screen froze, and it said, call a number. So she called the number, started speaking with someone. They convinced her bank account was hacked. Then they sent an email with a link to say, click on it so that we can, fix this for her. That put malware on her phone. The NYPD confirmed this. They had remote access to her computer.
Oh, my God.
Then they hooked her in using scare tactics. Someone's in your bank account.
So when did she realize she was officially scammed?
When she didn't get the check in the mail to back up all this gold. So what was happening, each time she sent the gold, she was sent a fake receipt from the scammers. We even have the receipts. Take a look at this. They look like they're from the U.S. Treasury. Okay, it says very official looking. They use the seal, but look at this. That is the director. The Treasury Department has a secretary that says Director Joseph Liu. He was a director under the Obama administration. This just happened this year.
Yeah, it's
So
sophisticated,
yeah,
though.
it
I mean,
really is.
you're right. If you're looking for these little clues, you can see little mess ups, but most people are not going to dive
course
into
not. No.
that deeply. But so, what is the big takeaway here? Because, your heart just breaks. That could be anyone's mother, anyone's aunt.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just don't call random numbers which appear on your screen or that you get in a text. These are phishing attempts. Don't click on any random email links. Don't send ever or give money to strangers. And you have to listen to the warnings. When Mrs. Rothman went to her bank,
Yes.
they told her, are you being scammed? Don't take this money out. Then when she drained her mutual fund, her inheritance, her financial advisor said, what are you doing with all this? Don't do this. And then even the person at the store, Mr. Amin, who we talked to, the gold bar seller, he said, what are you doing with all this? Each time she was scared because she was trying to protect her family and her money. So she was told to lie, and she lied.
I just wonder how law enforcement cannot track these people down because they're clearly local. They drove the car up in front of her house. They picked up the gold bars.
They were on the street, and this is only the second time we've heard of this.
Yeah.
Somebody either coming to get your debit card or coming to pick up now these gold bars or this cash. When the criminal goes from cyberspace to your sidewalk in front of you, that's very frightening, and they are investigating.
You know what?
this. Hopefully
Exactly.
they'll be
And that arrest that you talked about in Long Island, that just goes to show they're making some headway.
Yeah, let's hope.
Thank goodness.
Thanks, Nina.
Thank you so much for that, Nina.
New hope for hostages and their families. Coming up on Eyewitness News, mornings at 10. New details on the next group of hostages in the Mideast being freed by Hamas and what Israel is doing in return. We're going to get the latest on this fragile ceasefire deal in a report from Israel.
And take a look at this. A big fire tears through a row house in New Jersey. What happened to the people who lived there as firefighters were put to the test on a very cold morning?
Yeah, you have to think these frigid conditions make their job so much harder. We are seeing a slow thaw over the course of the weekend, but today and tomorrow still close to the freezing mark, but I'll let you know when we're back closer to 40 coming up.